Yo, it's me, Doncho. Welcome back to the Hideout, you guys, and I'm so glad you guys can make it. And we're talking about Jujutsu Kaisen chapter 142. A big brother's back, and the big brother is back. He's here to protect Yuji in a way that he couldn't protect, the other two. I know everybody's thinking, Doncho, you said that Choso was going to lose. Yeah, I said Choso was going to lose because I really thought Choso was going to lose. But the reason why he lost is why I love fights in Jujutsu Kaisen and why I love how things are orchestrated within the series. So that's why I'm like, yeah, on that. But before we get into more of that throughout the chapter, okay? Like I always say, if you like this content and you want more from me, don't forget to hit that like button. And don't forget to hit the subscribe button and hit that bell icon. We just hit 2,000 subscribers at Doncho's Hideout. So I will be doing the type of celebration stream for everyone. So don't forget to check that out when it comes, okay? Because I can't wait to see you when you show up. And we can talk Jujutsu Kaisen. Okay, let me stop doing that and being lame. And then also, you can you can comment below. And I can't wait to hear from you guys and everything that we talk about here at the Hideout. And you guys always come and comment, and it's awesome. And I just love the energy and everybody just being so amazing and supporting the channel. And I love it, and I just feel like I have to say that to you guys because I really appreciate everything you guys do and all the energy everyone brings. It's awesome. Keep it up, you guys. This has been a beautiful community. So if you have not joined the Doncho Hideout Discord, please do that. Join. Hang out with us. Let's talk. Let's do some VCs together. We could do all types of stuff. I'm so glad you guys are already here at the YouTube. So let's just try to branch out and do as much as we can. All right, you guys. And if you want to support the channel monetarily, which is always supported, you can always hit the Patreon and the coffee, which is in the description links below. But forget all of that other stuff, you guys. Let's see the intro. Guys, so we into the chapter, and like I said, I didn't expect Choso to even come out with this win. Like, I'm just gonna go ahead and start there. Like, I didn't expect him to come out with this win. I really thought Naoya was going to be really on his ass, on top of him, really doing him dirty, and he kind of was. I mean, when we start off the chapter, we literally have Naoya like going up and running up on Choso. Choso reiterating the 10 siblings thing. Cool, we get that. Not to downplay Choso, but we get that. And then we get Naoya diving in at Choso, and he's basically saying, "You're not answering my question. I'm asking you, what is your technique and your tough thing? Why are you so tough? Like, what's this toughness on you? You know what I'm saying?" And so he jumps at him. And he's like fighting him, and he's hitting his licks in. He's doing his little thing, but we get the dialogue. We see when Akutami draws it in real clearly with Choso's eyes like being real crisp, is that when he does the flowing rescue with himself, he's really focusing in on what's in his eyes so that he can visually see where Naoya is moving and catch up with him. So he's kind of countering his 20 FPS thing, which is a 20 or 24 FPS thing, which I find really cool that is a type of counter that the blood manipulation can do to try to keep up with Naoya's technique. The reason why I find that pretty cool is because the blood manipulation is the combo family's ability, and this FPS thing isn't the Zenin family ability, but now we know that there's an ability that seems to pass down in the Zenin family line because of Nobito and Naoya. So just knowing that those two have that type of relationship, that type of clash, that type of conflict, I find that to be pretty cool. But that's just like parallels of the two clans that I've seen that I thought was really awesome. But even Naoya says it in his head, like he notices that that's what Choso is doing, and he isn't fazed by it. He dodges. He's like, oh, he's trying to get used to my technique because he's doing the flowing rescue in his eyes. Then he dodges around Choso trying to get his attack in, and then gets out at Choso and hits him with the stab move, causing Choso to be stabbed and jump back. And then that happening, Naoya says it's too bad because I move with the instinct and the intent of thinking my opponent's going to counterattack. He's assuming that the opponent is going to counterattack when he's attacking. So you doing so is just moving into his expectations. So it doesn't really even matter. And on top of that, he's moving faster than Choso anyway. So it's like this thing where Choso is clearly being overwhelmed and Naoya hasn't even explained what his ability can do. Basically, what I want to say here is that if Choso was a regular human being, Naoya won this fight because that stab that Naoya got on him was Naoya's decisive blow to end the fight. So Naoya didn't even go in with some type of intention of just being like, okay, I'm gonna fight with this guy, squat up a little bit, and then it's just like I can run my mouth and talk a little bit, because I know some people are like, he was just sitting there talking while Choso was prepping up an attack. Yeah, because he's thinking this dude is a regular dude who's bleeding profusely and blood is leaking all on the floor. He's like, oh, dude is bleeding out. You don't get that inner dialogue from him, but that's common sense. I'm sorry, I said inner dialogue, I meant inner monologue, but it definitely makes sense when you get that inner monologue later when he sees the blood rushing at him and now he's like, how are you bleeding like this and alive? Like, he's really confused because he thinks he's a regular dude. Choso not even answering the question when he's being asked, who are you? What are you? Like, how do you have this technique? Him not answering was crucial, because if he would have said something like, well, I guess him saying he's the oldest of 10 siblings should have been the hint, but to Naoya, the death painting wounds, there's not 10 of them, there's 9 of them. So he's adding Yuji in there, so that could be possibly throwing off him thinking, oh, he's talking about the death painting wounds, because those were stolen when the school got attacked, and he's not adding those up, but you probably could still add it up when you see this random dude doing blood manipulation, and then the death painting wounds are stolen. But then also as a Zenin, you might not know specifically what's going on with the death painting wounds. You might not know specifically that these things had to be swallowed by a human being and then they look like a person. You might not know that. Or you might think they might look more curse-like Iso. He's the one who look like real ugly. You gonna think he a curse. Just look at him. You gonna think he a curse. You're not gonna think he a person. So it's like those type of things where it makes me really know okay, this was decisive battling and lacking information that really was the key piece of what made Naoya lose his fight. So as I continue on talking about the chapter here, you guys, is that when Naoya's sitting there and he gets that stab in and Choso jumps back, and then Naoya goes, yeah, you're pretty tough, so I had to use this little special weapon, this cursed weapon, but I don't really fuck with cursed weapons. He wipes it, he swings the blood off when he sees it, and he's sheaths it, and he's all like, yeah, you're blood manipulation, so you stopping the bleeding is your forte, but can you stop the bleeding and focus on fighting me at the same time? Because he gave him a fatal blow. For a regular human being, that blow would have been a fatal blow. So for that to be that type of blow there, and now he's having regular conversation, it's because he kind of in his head is like, dude, I'm already faster than you when you're peak, no injuries, nothing. And now you're focusing your technique on trying to stop yourself from bleeding, and you want to fight me straight up, and I've taken no damage, I win. So now you're having a conversation with him. He said, let's keep a secret between us. I don't really like using cursed weapons and stuff like that. I like throwing my hands with folks. People be wandering around here using weapons like it ain't nothing. Like my older brothers be doing that. Like they be wandering around here using cursed weapons, but then they got the nerve to complain about Toji. What does that mean? What exactly is your relationship with Toji? And if not your relationship, what is your mental standing? Where is your affinity with Toji and who he is as a person and what he is to the Zenin clan? He's mentioned Toji twice. He's mentioned him one time when talking to Junichi, and now the second time to Choso. Two, he has no idea who he is, and he out loud says, it's weird that they were complaining about Toji. Choso don't know who Toji is, and you just name dropping him. And the fact that he's name dropping him so casually, and he hasn't said anything negative about Toji yet. Apparently in the raws, the scans in the Japanese, he said Toji-kun. There's a respect level there for Toji. So I just wonder what is this thing with Naoya and Toji? And for him to so easily be like, oh yeah, I'm gonna kill Megumi. So you just gonna easily go kill his son, but you seem to have some type of respect thing there for him. Maybe he doesn't respect Megumi the same because Megumi's technically not a Zenin. I don't know what Naoya's thing is with. He probably just has a crush on Toji for all we know. Why are you bigging up, not even bigging up, but even to show the slightest hint of respect for Toji when we know that Toji went through the ringer with the Zenin clan and apparently isn't respected? And you just said that your elder brothers or people who complained about him, and you don't understand why they complained. So instantly I have to think you're cool with him. I don't want to harp on that point too long. That's a whole other tangent. Continuing on with the chapter. Now he's sitting there having all this conversation. He talks about he don't like his older brothers because they're inferior to him, and he's the younger brother. And what's the point of inferior older brothers? And I feel like that's something Choso could actually agree with, but I guess Choso's mentality is, well, you still have to love your siblings regardless. You might have an incompetent older brother, but the incompetent older brothers make the mistakes and you don't make those mistakes. You see them making them, so you decide not to follow them. And that's what he believes is an older brother that he does. And if he doesn't make mistakes and go down that right path, then Choso's like, then my brothers would just follow me. They follow me down the right path. So either way he goes about it, he thinks there should be love for us, because there should be a way you should look at it. It shouldn't be you hate me because I make mistakes. It should be, okay, I make mistakes, you learn from them, and this, that, and the third. And I love that. I love that Choso really gives that beautiful type of really sibling philosophy. And sibling type of stuff is really big in Japan. Like they have really tough, nice traditions on that, which is why things like Demon Slayer and Tanjiro are so like loved, because he talks about how he's the older brother. He said, I'm the oldest. I need to be able to handle this because I'm the oldest. And I love stuff like that. I'm a middle child, and I feel like my oldest sibling does a lot to try to be that I'm the oldest and I should be able to deal with it type of deal. So I understand that. So when you look at Choso in that type of light and you think about the things that Choso does in that type of way, I find it really impressive. And I like that Akutami decided to take him and go that route. But he should have fucking lost this fight. And the reason why I say that is because I feel like Naoya was on his ass. I mean, even when he sits there and he does that whole explanation and he goes, oh, so you are who you are because of your brothers. And Naoya's all like, ew, like, what are you talking about? Like, that's annoying. That just sounded disgusting. I don't even know what you're, stop. I actually like Naoya. I hate that I just said that. Not that I like who he is, as in like, yeah, I like that yeah, I like that. But I like who he is, as in I like what he's here for and what he's doing. And I like that he's like this, because it's like, okay, I have another shit he's in and I can love. It's so weird to say. Y'all think I'm insane, I know. Y'all probably think I'm crazy. But he's another shit he's in that I just really love. And I just really enjoy how he just gives this aura to me of, I have to be powerful because other people around me are weak, and I'm a Zenin, and he's embodying what the negatives of the Zenin are for me. And I love seeing. Choso decides to do his grand move as we continue on with the chapter, you guys. We get so many tangents this chapter with so much great stuff. But as we continue on and we go through with Choso talking, I'm not talking, but him doing his move and actually getting his blood technique out and flooding all his blood out, we get narration through Akutami saying basically that cursed wounds cannot suffer from blood loss, which we kind of had gotten that before, but now we get the specifics that they can. The main reason why they don't suffer from blood loss is because they're turning that cursed energy into blood. Okay, we got that confirmation. I think all of us assumed that, but this is now something that Akutami has confirmed. So the cursed energy recycles into blood as long as they don't run the cursed energy, and that's the movement that they do that. So Choso purposefully makes himself pretty much bleed out so that the blood could come through, and then that he can let all the blood flush down and do his grand thing. And now he's just jumping back like, oh my God, I can't let this blood get me. And he's thinking to himself, like I said before, how the freckity fuck is this dude fucking letting blood flood the fucking whole corridor to do this shit, because he doesn't know he's a fucking cursed wound. So then all that shit goes down, then Choso does some little feint attack, Naoya dodges it, and he's thinking, oh shit, maybe he is about to die. What was this weak ass shit he's threw at me? No, it was another trick playing on this nigga brain. Choso hit from the side, piercing blood, Naoya dodges it. Like, this is the thing, like, piercing blood is the speed of sound, and Naoya dodges it close range. It wasn't a far range, it was close range. So he still dodges it. He's like, I can't let this dude blood touch me. Like, that's all he's worried about, making sure the blood don't touch him. He's like trying to do his thing. And then this nigga Choso jumps, hits the blood, gets the kick. Naoya blocks the kick. He ain't getting no real damage done to him. Blocks the kick, then the blood splatter on him. He like, okay, I get some, now I got blood splattered on me. Damn, he must be controlling the blood, because now my pants is harder and shit and I feel heavy. So he's sitting there, he got a little blood on him. He's like, okay, cool. He looked up and Choso got he cooked like he got a piercing blood cooking. He like, you see the situation. I'm about to blow you to infinity. And my nigga sit here looking at him like, oh, you about to blow me to infinity and beyond, like Buzz Lightyear? No. Naoya is literally looking at him and he's like, why don't you try it? And in his head, he's thinking, this isn't really stopping me from what I'm trying to do. And I think that's what's crazy, is that he's thinking like, this isn't stopping me from moving fast enough to stop him from doing piercing blood. He's entirely confident from where he's at, he can still get the Choso and stop him from using piercing blood. So then, boom, he just jumps at him. Because he's like, I'm not worried about it. He hasn't taken no damage for real, none of that. He goes at him. But then we get this narration that this man Choso has, this is a move originally made by Choso home for 150 years. And it's not even a new move, it's his supernova. So the supernova we seen him do against Yuji, if I remember correctly, back in A Scrap, the supernova he did then is actually a Choso original blood manipulation technique, playing again on Naoya's lack of information. He knows about the blood manipulation because of the combos, but knows nothing about the supernova because it's Choso's technique. And that a technique that he honed for 150 years. Now let's sit back and really just think about that for 1 second. Let that sink in. For Akutami to say that this was a move that Choso created from honing his curse technique for over 150 years. That just entirely changed the meaning of how to get stronger for Jujutsu Kaisen to me. I thought mental played a level where you have your innate technique will be your 50%. And then for you to go higher to get to that next level, you need your imagination, okay? You need to think like, how would I implement this technique? How do I use this technique? I would say not even another 50%, I would say another 40%. And then the rest you could say is the battle experience. You going in and you experiencing something and then getting some grand moment happening to you. An example, Megumi, where he did Chimera Shadow Garden, or even Gojo, where he almost died. You have these moments of, okay, now I can tap into, you know, something new because I have had all these type of experiences. I've gotten this close near death type of thing, all of that. But now I have this whole other outlook on it because Choso was never alive. He was never around. He was always a cursed womb for 150 years. He was inside a tube, but he was able to hone a technique. So that's all up here. So and we knew they were sentient because they told us that when we were introduced to the cursed wombs. We knew they were sentient. So this man Choso for over 150 years in his head played with his cursed technique and the things that he can do with it. So everything he knows, things like piercing blood, things of that nature, we know that they're called piercing blood because I think Akutami says that for the continuity of it. But this could be something that Choso just entirely made up on his own. Or on another level of a continuity, what if the ability passes down information to a degree? So certain techniques have been used, and if you get this, you know, you might be born from the person who made piercing blood. So now you can naturally try to get into piercing blood naturally because now it's in your innate technique. And then you build on that and you keep passing it down, and you do more and more. But Choso was able to make supernova. I don't want to be this person, but I'm instantly thinking, then what the hell is Gojo doing inside that prison realm? Because that prison realm, time does not pass. So he's just in there. So what is his brain doing? Thinking about his own technique, thinking about how his stuff works, thinking about how cursed energy works while he's sitting inside that prison realm. What is going on in Nabara's brain as she's sitting there in a comatose state? What is going through Maki's brain as she's sitting in a comatose state? What do these things mean? I think people forget just how old Choso is. So that 150 years means something. He's over 150 years old. Now that's like, you gotta say that. He's over 150 years old because that 150 years is what helped him make supernova. It's really impressive. I'm just so impressed. Let's continue. And then we get the supernova hitting Naoya, dropping him to the ground. Choso's like, you didn't love your brothers, and I just can't understand that. And before he can even try to celebrate a victory, Yuta pops up right behind him, dragging Yuji. Now, this is the thing about the dragging Yuji thing, which excites me, because it has me have a feeling that Yuji isn't dead yet. Why it makes me feel like Yuji isn't fully dead yet is because Yuta's keeping the body with him, probably to make sure things get done, right? You don't want to just leave the body and be like, it's over. You got the body with you because you want to make sure he don't come back, this, that, and the third. But I think it's very interesting that we see him carrying Yuji's body, because now we know he has Yuji with him and Yuji's unconscious. He showed up, and as was going to continue, he showed up and knocked Choso out, knocked him to the ground, he's done. Now he's laid on the ground. He's not finished yet. He's still up. He's still, awake, but he's laid down. And Yuta's really the only one still standing. What happens next? Megumi shows up. That's why Sukuna not trying to activate, none of that. And Megumi has to have a 1v1 with Yuta. And I'm not saying a 1v1 as in a fight, but I think they're gonna have to have some confrontation. Or Megumi does some cool, opens up Chimera Shadow Garden, uses Chimera Shadow Garden in the small time he has it open to get, a quick uptake on Yuta, snag everybody, get the hell out, and then Yuta, of course, will be following right behind, but maybe there's some stall time and they'll be able to, I don't know. But I think Megumi has to now show up. I'm ready for him to show up now. He has to, like this. I didn't think he would show up this chapter. I wanted him to, but I didn't think he really would, but I really, really wanted him to. Next chapter, I think he's gonna come. And if he doesn't come, I'm wrong, but I think he's gonna come, and I think this is when everything's gonna start being like, okay, where's Megumi's playing this? What's he about to do with Sukuna? what's Yuta's mindset? Is Yuta really against Yuji? I wonder what all of these things about to happen. And he doesn't seem like he gives a damn about Naoya really being hurt for real. It seems like he's being very sarcastic. Some translators say that he really meant miserable. Like he really was saying, you look miserable, Naoya. Like you just look terrible. But I'm excited. I kind of said everything I felt about this. I said everything I felt about this chapter. There's no like conclusion where wrapping things up at the end here, you guys. And I'm glad you guys could stay through to the end of here. But this was a really, really doozy of a chapter. Choso showed out. Choso did his thing, and I really love to see it. It was amazing. It was absolutely fantastic. It was great. Chapter 142, Gegaku Tommy once again, another 10 out of 10, 142 hits out of 142 swings. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, Akutami don't miss. But like I always say, it's your boy Doncha. Make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you hit the comment section below. Talk to your boy, okay? All right, I always love seeing you guys come back. And make sure you hit that subscribe button, hit the bell icon so you don't miss when something new drops. If you didn't get notified when this dropped, next time you will get notified when something drops, right? Right. We are at 2,000 subscribers, like I said in the beginning of this video, you guys. I'm so happy you guys are here, and I will be doing a live stream, so stay tuned for more news for that in celebration. I want to talk with some of you guys live, hang out, talk about Jujutsu Kaisen, fantasy, or anything else you guys would like to talk about. And if you want to support, make sure you hit that Patreon, make sure you hit that coffee, like I always say, all right? It's your boy Doncho. Peace. Young Noise.